Hello, this is Timo from the future. I forgot to record the introduction of this video, so now I'm doing it. Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Thank you all so much for your questions so that I can do this Q&A. Let's get started. So the first three questions are by Lama-sama, Hiro and Sally. I'm gonna answer them in one shot because they are closely related to each other. So, how do you pronounce Sieudiver? Or do I need to give an answer now? There isn't a precise way that you have to pronounce this. What I always say is pronounce it the way you think it should be pronounced, based on your language and based on the language of the people you're talking to. For example, I just said Sieudiver because that's how I think it should, how it should be pronounced in English. But when I talk in French, for example, then I would say Sieudiver. And yeah, it's kind of up to you. Is Timo your real name? No, it's a fake name. Timo is a username I've been using for a long time now. It's simply based on my second name, which is Timothy. It's nothing more than that. As for Sieudiver, it's a username that I've chosen more recently, and I've used it basically as my artist name. And why did I choose it? It's a play on word. So in French there will be two ways to think about it. The first part, cieux, can mean sky in French, and hiver means winter, and d'hiver would mean of winter. So it would mean like winter sky. But the second thing is, Sieux is also the end of monsieur, which it means Mr. And d'hiver means also diverse. So this has a bit more meaning. It would mean like Mr. Diverse, because I enjoy a lot of different things. And especially with my music, I like a lot of different genres, and I like to play and compose all kinds of music. That's where it comes from. How did you realize that you like music in general? Is a new album in project? Well, it's been such a long time. I was kind of surrounded by music since I was born, and probably even before that. And also, of course, there wasn't one moment where I realized that I like music. It's just with the years I realized that I like music more than the average person, just because, like most people like to listen to music, but I listen to music like 24/7. Also, I like to play music. I enjoy creating music too. I think it's just comparing how much I like music with other people. And yes, there is a new album in project. It's gonna be released really soon. This is not an official announcement yet, but I will do that very soon. So stay tuned for that. Altalos asked, sorry if I mispronounced your nickname by the way. Who's your favorite? To who? You should say Toho. I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question. I don't have a favorite. All the characters are so good, and yeah, I might have a bunch of favorites, but not one favorite. Exaflare Bahamut, is it me or do you look like Noble from Lost Pose? No. So I had to look up because I didn't know who that was. Well, I don't know, I don't think I look like him, but but whatever, I guess. When and how did you discover Toho? Good question, because I don't. I kind of remember some elements, but it was very progressive. I remember that someone on YouTube who was making YouTube poops, he talked about Toho one day. I think that was the first time I encountered Toho. And that was like, I don't know, 5 years ago now? I'm not sure, but around that. Also, I think, like many people, I got to know more about it through Osu, which I played at that time. And then probably also just wandering on YouTube. The first circles I can remember were probably Iosis, East New Sound, and Halodi, which I'm not sure how to pronounce. And yes, as you can see, this wasn't a coincidence. And yeah, I'll play the first videos I can remember seeing about Toho. Reality asks, what inspires you to make Toho music or any music? Anything. Well, for Toho music, it's mainly other Toho arrangements that I like. I would, for example, recognize a theme and think, oh, this would sound good in this genre or this genre, or you know, I can have some random ideas. It's hard to have one answer because it's kind of different every time. And for the rest, well, it's almost the same story. Part of having a lot of inspiration is listening to a lot of music and analyzing. You know, when I listen to music, it's sometimes casually, but sometimes really passionately. But yeah, like basically I can focus on the music and do nothing else. That doesn't always happen, but sometimes I do. The other thing is discovering music actually. The first time you hear a song, it's very different from all the next times. As a musician, you can take advantage of that and try to analyze what struck you first and what you thought was interesting about the music. But yeah, so listening to music, analyzing music, and it can also be, you know, anything else, anything that you enjoy in life. I'm also inspired by movies, video games, even just short events that happened in my life. Saga Rebellion, which are your favorite Toho songs? Well, thank you for writing songs and not song, so I can list a few of them. But even if I have multiple choices, it's too hard, man. I think I'll just show you a quick selection, like, boom. Which are your favorite doujin circles? Again, hard question because there are many. So again, I'm gonna show you a list on the screen because it would be way too long to enumerate. You can say, okay, my favorite circle is probably Saga Infinity, right? What's your favorite song you ever made? Easily, Solarpunk City. It's an original song. If you haven't listened to it yet, go, it's amazing. You know, I'm usually staying humble and I'm not shouting that my music is awesome everywhere. But this one is, you know, I'm not even scared to say that it's awesome. If you could only work on a single music genre for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Again, how do I do this? You know, I never thought I would say this one day, but if you consider pop music as a genre, then that would be it. Not because I want to make money making music or anything, but just because pop is very diverse, and you know, I could have some, I don't know, anything, rock, metal, dubstep elements in pop songs, and it would still be a pop song. And else it would be like trance, probably, with all its subgenres, because because if I have to choose one subgenre, that's over. I cannot, I just kill myself, you know. Okay, it's raining outside, sorry if there is too much noise. What's your music making setup? Hardware and software. In terms of software, I'm working on Ableton Live, and that's basically it. I use Ozone's mastering plugins and sometimes Massive. Other than that, I use the included audio effects and instruments on Ableton. In terms of hardware, there is not actually much going on. Like, I have a fair amount of equipment, but when I actually compose and arrange, I don't use most of it. My main piece of gear is my audio interface, which is the Komplete Audio 6 from Native Instruments. I have my speakers connected to them, I have my microphone, my headphones, and of course my computer. And I can also connect my piano behind. Who is best, Sieudiver? Good question. Toshino Kyoko. For this question I can give you this one answer, although I must say I love Sieudiver and I think all the characters are amazing. Silver Rose of Wind, what a pretty name. How did you become a member of Norowareta Night? It's just interesting. Well, it depends how far in the past I should start. I would start with Babs Music, who organized an album dedicated to Sieudiver, and he just proposed to anyone to send their remixes. I did, and he accepted, which I'm really thankful for, because it kind of started everything for me in all the Toho scene. Especially because before finishing the song, I sent a demo to him, and that demo was terrible. So I don't know, I guess he saw the potential and accepted. And yeah, I finished the song and now I'm proud of it. Yeah, and the thing is that the song is Fantasia and it was sung by Milky. That's kind of how we met. And later Milky organized an album with Mogeko Castle arrangements. I think again it was open, I'm not sure. But in the end I participated, and I think that it was after that she invited me to join her circle, which was Last Dream at the time. And of course I had to accept. It was a really good opportunity for me, and from that I met a lot of people. It motivated me to create even more music more regularly. I'm so thankful for that. Shout out to Babe and Milky. A question from OP2C. Do you have any goals you want to achieve soon-ish in the long run? Or again, a lot of things to say about this. Well, I'll start with the short-term goal. Well, right now I want to release my next album. That would be good. I have many ideas for albums or EPs and collabs for next year. Again, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, because it's almost becoming a routine. So of course I'm aiming to do those things, but it's not like it's a goal I want to achieve. It's just what I do, it's music. But for, you know, new things, different things, starting from next year, I want to start making live performances. It's been since the release of my first album that I am thinking about it, but I never really knew how to go about it. I didn't really have the material I didn't really know how to, how to manage that, because when I create my music, it's not aimed for being played live, it's just to listen to. Well, it should be possible to perform, that's why I'm gonna try, but it was always a bit difficult for me to think about. And talking about that, before I'm actually gonna start to perform in real life, the first performance I'm gonna do will be on Twitch. It will be kind of a test, a rehearsal, and I'm going to try to do it during December. Maybe for the release of my album. So I'll give you more precise information about that later. So yeah, if you're interested in me performing my music live, you can subscribe to my Twitch channel, which I will link in the description. How do you feel when you make music? It's different every time. The most general feeling is, of course, a good feeling, but it always depends on, each moment when I'm creating the music. It might happen that I spend, I don't know, like hours on one element and I'm not sure what to do with it. Or I might have like the beginning of a song and I'm searching, I'm trying things and I can't find a way to continue it properly, and it's really frustrating. There is a lot of frustration. Now, I'm talking about that, but usually it's a good feeling. When I finally get over that, that block, that wall, it's the best feeling ever. Being proud of it, yeah, that would be the main things. But then there's also a different feeling for each song individually. And sometimes first I would have a certain feeling given by, something else. I can have nostalgia, for example, and then it would inspire me and I would create a music about nostalgia. And so that's how I would feel while creating it. I hope I answered your question. How do you feel about hitting 500 subscribers? I'm happy, of course, but, well, in my opinion, 500 subscribers is not much, but to this day, the highest number I've ever got, so it's an achievement and I'm happy and proud. Though I will say that that's really how I feel. The number is not too important. It has important consequences, but the number itself, it doesn't do anything to me. If I had 1 million subscribers and no change outside of that, then it would suck. I'd almost feel bad. The best thing is knowing that people enjoy my music, and I think reading the comments are the best thing. Even whether they are good or not, but it actually shows that people are watching, people are caring. So I would rather have one very supportive comment than 100 subscribers. has, again, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Do you know what BMS is, and have you ever considered making music for that or any other music game? So yeah, I know Beatmania. I didn't know that particular file format. If I'm correct, that's what it is. So yeah, I looked it up a little bit. To answer the question, yes, I want to make music for video games in general and for music games, like, of course. Unfortunately, I don't know how to do it actually. So yeah, I've always considered, but never really did. Enali asks, why are you so great at making music? Asking for a friend. I don't know. No, but really, consider my situation. It would be really bad to not be great at music. As I said earlier, I enjoy listening to music since a long time. I've been a musician for as long as I remember, so I just have to be good, at least. I wouldn't say great, but... How do you manage to remain so good throughout the years, Timo? Well, I'm too good, I don't even know myself. Peter asks, how do you get your hair to look like that? Like what? It's completely natural, so to answer the question, I don't do anything special. Enard Benjamin, also known as SexyBoy47, asks, can you use that singing monkey in one of your next music masterpiece? Of course. Maybe not in the next, but I'm gonna use it. Torva asks, how many people have mistaken you for Critical with longer hair? And what's your favorite game outside of Toho? No one yet, probably because first I don't look too much like him, and also there probably aren't many people who know both of us. And what's your favorite game outside of Toho? Well, first of all, Toho is not my favorite game. I love the universe and everything around it. I love the game itself too, by the way. But it's not my favorite game. Again, that's another question where I cannot answer. I cannot have one answer. But I think I can list them. I will start with Dota 2, just because I have so many hours on it. Recently there will be CSGO, Rocket League, maybe Grand Blue Fantasy, and a little bit like Toho, I would say Kantai Collection. Like, I never played the game itself actually, but I really like the universe, you know? Like the atmosphere, the characters, the songs. It's really awesome. Then I can list games I really loved, but like those games you play once and that's it, and that doesn't make them not amazing games, but it's just you cannot spend so much time playing them. In this category there will be like Limbo or Mogeko Castle. Then for the games that will always remain in my heart, Alpha Century, there's a lot of references to that game in my music, and the other games from Sid Meier's, so the Civilization series, Rise of Nation, The Lord of the Ring, Battle for Middle-earth, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario World, Super Smash Bros. Melee, the best of all the Smash Bros, Oblivion, and of course Skyrim, but Oblivion was my first, Unreal Tournament, especially 99, Minecraft. I spent so many hours on this game. Now I've played it too much and I cannot play anymore, but when I discovered it, it was incredible. Oh, Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3. No, 1 and 2. Of course, Pokemon. The last versions I played were Ruby and Sapphire. And my personal favorite was Pokemon Silver. I really liked The Sims 2. I'm sure most of you will never guess, but it actually inspires me for my music. So I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of titles, but let's stop here for now. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry for the delay. Recording this video was harder than I thought. And stay tuned for what's coming next. Really big release this month. I will make a proper announcement in a few days. And there is the Comic Cut coming soon, so I'll have a few collabs here and there. Okay, I was already editing the video, but I received a few other questions that I'm gonna answer now. When/how did you get acquainted with Japanese indie Eurobeat producers, especially them and their own distinct style? So I gave the example of DJ Command. How I got to know him was through Toho, since he was one of the first arrangers that I discovered and one of my favorites. But the truth is, I haven't collabed with many people in that category. You gave the example of the IRGP thing. This was completely open. You could have participated yourself. There is no tutorial for that. You just have to be aware of what's going on in the scene. They are just announcing that on their blog and on Twitter. They are probably also announcing it on YouTube. There's a lot of indie Eurobeat producers that I've discovered through YouTube and Nico Nico, but it's not like I know them personally. Other question, how does your ideas, theme, composition come to mind, and what's the process of translating them into your DAW? For those who don't know, the AW is basically the software you use to create music on a computer. Well, I kind of answered this question earlier. My ideas come to my mind kind of randomly, but most of the time just by listening to a song. And I'm not sure if that's answering the question, but a lot of times I would have a certain idea or maybe a genre I want to work on. And in the end, it becomes completely different. And my advice for that is just let it be. I will usually feel a bit bad in the moment because I'm not achieving what I planned to achieve, but the song is still good and it became even more original, so that's perfect actually. Most of the time you would think of constructing a track being going from simple to complex or bad to good, but it can also be unoriginal to original. You can modify a good non-original track and make it original. And about translating the ideas into my software, my suggestion is go to my Twitch channel when I'm live and you will see for yourself. Because it's really hard for me to explain that just with words. But usually it's not that difficult for me to imagine something and then just apply it to my project. If I'm thinking, oh, I want to add a guitar on this track, then I just add a guitar on this track. It's not that complicated. If I have in mind a very complex and abstract kind of sound, then depending on what it is exactly, I will do just like everyone else does. I will struggle. And there's no way around this. I will probably want to make another video to answer other questions that have been asked by other people, but not for the purpose of this video. I will do that in another video later, I don't know when. Thanks for watching. I hope I answered all your questions correctly, and that's it for now. See you later, bye.